Might be a little while before I get to the bank.
That's an incomplete pass. Let's give it a Renaissance replay. Renaissance Mobile Check Deposit. Make the right call and open an account with Renaissance today.
All right, Maya, start of the season, just around the corner. Just talk about the excitement of getting the actual season started.
We are very excited. We were supposed to start in the fall, but that was taken away from us. We did play some scrimmages, but we're just looking forward for a regular season.
Well, the jump from high school to college is always big. So what did you learn during the fall that kind of is getting you ready for this season?
Well, in the fall, we learned a lot. It's definitely a big jump from high school to college. It's many more things. Like, you learn the basics, and then once you get to college, it's like strategy. So we've learned a lot more strategy and basically fixing the little things that just makes it better overall.
Well, y'all had a lot of success during the fall. Only lost one match, and it was a hard-fought match, I think 3-2 to William Carey, which is up a level. So you got a lot of confidence. So how are you going to build on that confidence to carry on and have a successful inaugural season here at ICC?
Well, I will say that was our very first match, and I think it'll be way better second time around. We are more confident and better chemistry within the team. So.
All right. And how does it feel knowing that you and the rest of the girls are making history and setting the bar of expectations for ICC volleyball?
It feels very good, especially knowing that this is the history we're making. We're going to make it good, and we hope that the rest of the years everyone will follow.
Now, one thing I've talked to other teams about, and it's just what we got to talk about, COVID. Unfortunately, it's part of the world now. What are y'all doing to kind of hold each other accountable and staying safe and healthy this season?
We are definitely taking many precautions, wearing our mask wherever we go. Even when we got here, we had the quarantine. We're not even able to travel home right now. Just staying together and staying COVID-free so that we can have a good, smooth season.
Why settle for a checking account that just holds your money? Renaissance Rewards Extra gives you so much more. Like savings at more than 400,000 retailers, 24/7 roadside assistance, a cell phone protection plan worth up to $400, $25 in ATM fee refunds per monthly cycle, and a great interest rate when you meet 3 easy qualifications. Get extra today at rewardsextra.com. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
All right, ML, start of the season, it's around the corner for y'all. Just talk about how excited you are and the rest of the team is right now.
I think we're all really excited. We've had a setback from our season getting pushed from the fall to the spring. So that's definitely been an adjustment, having our off season being in the fall. But we've been working really hard, and we're really excited to hopefully have a semi-normal season this spring.
Now, I know you guys had a very successful fall. So you as a player, what was the biggest thing you learned during the fall coming from high school to college in that transition?
The biggest thing for me personally with my transition is, in high school I always was a very hard hitter. I always was a hitter growing up because I was always tall. But once I got to college, the block was bigger, the defenders were better. It's just all about being strategic and hitting your shots and changing up between line, cross, cut shot, just not just hitting hard but playing smart.
And now, we talked about it with Maya. It's got to be exciting knowing y'all are making history, the first ever team here at ICC, and you're setting the bar for the future as well. Just talk about, just thinking about that you guys are the first team ever.
I think it's really cool to be leaving a legacy here. That's a big thing we talk about with ICC volleyball, is leaving our legacy. And I think what's so big about our team is that our character is what stands out so well. Coach Priscilla's picked a great group of girls. We're all strong leaders. We lead well on the court, and we're really excited to be leaving a legacy behind, and we hope that teams to follow are as successful as we've been.
Now talk about that, and I didn't think about this earlier in the interview, but you all were all-stars at your own high school, but now you're a collection of all-stars. How is that transition of getting used to playing with those teammates that you may have not played with before? How has that gone?
I have a little different take on that because I'm from Tennessee, so a lot of the girls have played together before on the all-star matches or through club volleyball, but I came in and hadn't played with any of them. But the connection with the girls that have played together was kind of already there, so the 2 or 3 or 4 that have come in that hadn't had that history with them, it's been very easy to grow a team chemistry very fast. This is one of the teams that I've been on that has the most chemistry in the shortest amount of time.
And now, of course, we talk about it, and I hate to talk about it because it gets talked about so much, but COVID being a big issue this year. What are you doing? What is the team doing to kind of just stay healthy, stay safe, and try to get through this season?
We're taking a lot of precautions. We're doing the best we can. We were all COVID tested when we came back for the spring. We're staying on campus. We're keeping, kind of like Coach calls it, our bubble. We're keeping our bubble very small, staying to our own, and just wearing our mask and remembering the end goal, because I know missing out on fun things and, you know, going home to your family may be hard right now, but like for the end goal, having a good season, getting a season at all is really what we're trying towards.
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, we're excited for our season.
Awesome. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Ooh, fumble. Let's give her a Renaissance replay. Make the right call with Renaissance and get cell phone protection with Renaissance Rewards Extra Checking. Sign up today.
Now talking with Coach Morgan, the first ever volleyball coach here at ICC, getting geared up for the first ever volleyball season here at ICC. And Coach, I appreciate your time today. So let's talk about it. A lot of buzz around the campus right now with the girls. The first season about to tip off here pretty soon.
Yeah, a season delayed, but our goals are still the same from day one when I had the opportunity to come on board and start building the program. It's been a long time coming for me, and it's been a long time coming for those first commitments. They committed early in the early signing period back in fall of 19 actually, and so we're excited to finally get this season off the ground. It's probably a lot different than what we thought it was going to be originally, but the important thing is that we're getting to have a season. And even though we've been talking a lot about this here coming back from Christmas break, is even though it's a different time of the year and it might be shorter, our goals haven't changed. We have some pretty lofty goals for a first year program.
All right, let's talk about some of those goals. What are some of those goals?
Yeah, so, you know, one of the key factors in building this program is going after the best players here in the state of Mississippi. So part of the early strategy in our recruiting was going after the all-star members of that North All-Star team back in 1920 year. We signed 8 of those players. So strategy behind there is that a lot of them had played together, and we would have a lot of team chemistry early due to them having some knowledge of being on the court together. And so during the fall, we had a really successful 60-day training window, relatively little COVID cases that we were able to get in all 4 scrimmages. And so, you know, goal 1 is to be the best junior college in Mississippi. You know, with Pearl River being the first, they've gotten a little bit of, you know, track on us. We'll have some sophomores and such. But we do believe that we are ready to take that title. And then the second goal is to be able to go and compete in our region with the Florida schools. So we hope to be competing against there and make it to the national tournament. That's the big goal. But we do plan on being the best in Mississippi, and we do plan on being the best within the region.
And you talk about that region play. You know, the world the way it is today, it's tough to make a schedule. And there's only 3 teams in the state that play in the conference. So talk about the schedule and just some of the challenges, 1 against the teams, but 2 presents to be able to find teams to play.
Right. So coming on board, we knew it'd be quite a while before we would be able to establish a full conference roster, or conference schedule in the state of Mississippi. So we knew playing the Alabama community colleges would be a key factor in that, and then branching out into Florida and such when they had opportunities. So right now we have 30 matches on it, which is a pretty normal season for us, and the key difference is home matches.
Yeah.
So of those 30, I believe we've got 10 slated at home and 20 on the road. So the key part of our schedule is learning how to compete and get ready of what our training is here and take it on the road and showcase our abilities, right? So we are doing a couple of crossover type of style with Alabama community colleges. For instance, Wallace State, we're planning a tournament over there, and then we're also traveling over to Pensacola to participate in a Pensacola State tournament, which will have the Florida teams. Right. So even though we are young and is a team of entire freshmen, we're going to be over there playing these best schools in Alabama and Florida, because in order to be the best, we got to play the best.
Absolutely. Now, you had a very successful fall. And you talked about it. It's a team full of freshmen, so it's very unique. So it's a big jump from high school to collegiate play. So talk about the fall and some of those, I hate to call them growing pains, but that's what they are.
Absolutely.
Whenever it comes to learning to make that transition from high school to college.
Absolutely. Obviously, you got a new system that you're implementing, and we're calling the defensive different and our offensive plays different than what they're used to. So once we get past all that key verbiage through classroom sessions and film review, we're trying to just find those connections that work together. So the biggest area that we're getting them from, coming from high school ball to college ball, is getting them to be smart players. We have a very aggressive competitive team. That is also one of our weaknesses, is that we can make some really unforced errors on ourselves, not so much what the other team's doing to us, but by the points that we're giving away, by swinging at balls that we shouldn't, or serving errors and things of those errors. So a lot of our training right now is about reducing that and teaching them how to be smarter players so that we can be competitive and we're not shooting our own self in our own foot.
Absolutely. Now, Coach, one of the parts, it's unfortunate part of this season is COVID. It's not when, it's almost if. But it's almost like injuries. You can't really plan for it.
Can't plan it, right.
You know what? I know the girls have already talked about what they're doing, but what are some of the steps that you're doing as a coach, as a team, to try to get it through the whole season?
Yeah, my coaching philosophy has always been, train your players to do multiple things. So sometimes they might come in here and say, well, Coach, I'm just a middle blocker. Okay, well, if you don't win the middle position, you might get bumped to the right side. You've got to hit high balls, which means you might also need a pass to hit. So here we are. She needs to be able to play in a different zone on the net that she's comfortable with. She needs to be able to do some passing reps. So every single day at practice, our players are taking reps on the ball that they might necessarily brought that before they came to ICC, something I've always believed in. Because in other seasons there have been injuries, and so that next girl is up. And I think in a COVID year where we'll have positive tests on girls and injuries, being able to have these players that are ready to step in different roles and be comfortable because we've been training that in their gym will be a key factor so that we can continue to be competitive.
Well, one cool thing that I think is for this season, and for the girls and you as well, this is the first ever season. You're setting the bar of expectations. So talk about those expectations, not only for the team this year, but setting it for expectations of the future.
Yeah, a lot of it is we talked about what our motto wants to be in this first year. And our motto for this first year, being the inaugural season, is demand more, expect less, and to leave a legacy. So what we talk about when our players are 4 years down the road and they're graduating from their bachelor's degree at whatever 4 years that they end up at, we want them to look back and say, well, what key factors about our team culture are still present from that team when those new members are coming on, right? And what were you living in that from behind us? So, next year when we add into 21, which we've completely completed actually that signing class with those other 4 young ladies that are coming on board, it's starting to getting them acclimated to what that culture part looks like. And in fact, even in 22, because we have 3 verbal commitments even in that 22 class. So getting them to say and define who and what they are about and leaving that behind, that's really key for what we're doing in that realm of our program.
And then talk about the starting of the program and what does it mean for the sport in this area, because it's a rapidly growing sport.
It's huge.
And it's just skyrocketing.
Yeah, with our Mississippi High School Association, we're no longer offering slow pitch softball. A lot of our high schools have added women's volleyball, girls volleyball to their fall schedule. So we have a lot of new programs. In fact, 2 local programs in this area, in this region of the state, made it to the state tournament this year. So we're really happy to see the growth in that going. So I think it's the important thing is that, as we're doing the camps and clinics out in the community, that our local girls can see that there is an opportunity to continue to go in the sport and use volleyball as a platform to gain your education and kind of inspire them, where before maybe those avenues were not always open to them. And so I really encourage the local community that is building and growing our sport to get out here and watch us play, watch Northwest, Pearl River, and get used to seeing that and start setting some big goals. So even that 12-year-old little girl that's out there watching us right now, we're eyeballing you. We're looking for you to be the future 2026 recruiting class at ICC.
I like it. Well, Coach, is there anything else you'd like to add before I let you go?
We wish all of our fans down here. Looks like at times we might have limited fans, but we know that, our sports info department does a great job of always, broadcasting ours. So please log in, support us, grow and learn with us. I know the game is something not everyone is used to, so we hope that you come out and learn some stuff. It's a fun sport. There's always balls being hit, and there's new points always being scored. So we hope that the community loves it and the campus loves it as much as we do, and that we'll grow that love of volleyball here at ICC in our community as well.
Brought to you by Renaissance Bank, the bank that understands you. Learn more at renaissancebank.com.